Can you just talk about, first day, new season, new hope, and just the excitement? This is not your first time doing this, but there is excitement, isn't it, around today?
Yeah, always. I think the first day of preseason always spells this. It's like your first day of school, think back to those days. New hope, looking on a new horizon and learning from the things that happened last year and how we can get better in every way. And we spent a lot of the off-season talking about that, and now it's about putting it into action.
You talk about new, you bring in some new players as well, and one not new to this league that leads this league in goals. What does she bring to this club?
Yeah, Lynn's, a proven winner, proven goal scorer, a type of forward that we haven't really had at this club for a while in regards to her ability to stretch the back line. And that's, something that she enjoys doing. It's something that she's really good at. Really excited to have Lynn here. I think she's a huge addition to the club. Her experience of winning in this league is unmatched. And hopefully she can bring that goal scoring prowess to our team.
So you got the top goal scorer, and then you have a player that's played more games than anybody in this league. Getting Lou back for another year. Just how important was that to bring in somebody that's been with this club since 2013? Yeah,
obviously signing Jess and Lou and what they've both brought to this club since its start. It will never happen again. I'm pretty confident in saying that the game's evolved so much that I think it's such a huge legacy. We've got a lot of young players in this group now too, which I think leaning on the likes of Lou and Jess in regards to what this club is, what it means to wear, this badge is massive. And then obviously we've got other experienced players like Lynn, who we spoke about, who can bring different experiences from around the league, but just to really educate those young players. But yeah, just so happy that Lou and Jess can continue this journey with us, because the day that both of them aren't here anymore, it'll be a new dawn for this club for sure.
Laura, I'm wondering, this is off season where you have a steady ownership, you're not up for sale. How has that felt different for you and your staff?
Oh, it's felt massively different. I think I actually said this in some of the meetings we've had over the last couple of days. I think in previous years at this club, one of the things that's always been special about it is the locker room's been this really tight, secret place, and inside of it we're battling against all the elements, and we're doing it in spite of everything outside the room, not in tandem with everything outside the room. And I think for the first time in a long time, we don't feel that way now. I think there's a shared vision, there's alignment from top to bottom on what we want to try and look like. And obviously it's still pretty new, 6 months in, but we've done a lot of work, a lot of talking, a lot of planning and processing to try and put things into action, and I'm excited to see how that works. But yeah, I think having that stability and just knowing where we're going to be, first and foremost for the long term, it's an exciting one, and getting the alignment piece and knowing what their expectations are from above and how it's going to operate and how we're going to function it out. I will say I've spent a lot of time myself in a lot of meetings talking about it, so I'm really happy now that we start to be able to put it into action.
In terms of the college signings that you had, Mason and Darlene, can you talk about the process of it being a little bit different from the draft and just what you saw from them that made you, particularly Darlene, be confident in a 3-year contract?
Yeah, I think Emily Mason played for me at the U20s, so I have experience with her, so she was a pretty easy one, to be honest. Maddie Darlene, I think, obviously had a fantastic year with UNC, played out at the U20 World Cup, so we were able to see her on a number of different levels to see her potential. And I think one thing that this club is now really focused on is making sure that we can bring in young talent, we can develop young talent, we can provide them with a pathway to be able to see the future in this club and in their professional career moving forward. Maddie was a well sought after target for a lot of people in this league, I think. So, yeah, we're really happy that she chose us.
And obviously you still have Emery and Jordan and Ainsley from last year. What sort of, I don't know how much you talked to them in the off season, but what sort of improvements do you think they've made over the off season? What do you expect to see from them in their year 2 or year 1.5?
Yeah, I think the big thing with the young ones is just exposure, I think exposure, experience, that's every day in training, being around the group. the expectations for the 3 who've been here are a little bit higher than they were a year ago. But that's part of how you develop kids. I think that that's a big part of it, that if they're absolutely smashing it now, great, but how do we make sure that they're smashing it in 5 years' time? And for that can be a slow and steady rise, it can be a really quick rise, Jordan Buggs, really quick rise, but that's not what's most important. What's most important is what do they look like in 5 years' time, and how do we put something in process for them that they can continue to develop. So yeah, I'm really excited about the young talent that we have at this club. I think it's setting us up for now, but also setting us up for the future.
So, Coach, last season you talked a lot about quality on the pitch. Lynn Williams is a worthy headliner in terms of acquisitions. What else are you looking for kind of in this build-up to the season, adding that quality to the roster? And can we expect another move before this January transfer window ends?
Yeah, I mean, that's something we're always looking at. How can we make ourselves better? We've got a little bit of wiggle room within the roster to be potentially be able to do that, but I think we've been very purposeful in how we've operated. So it'd have to be the right person in the right moment, I think, for us to really make another move. But yeah, I think the biggest part about quality is providing the players with a stable environment where there's not a lot of question marks about off the field things, where we can concentrate on what we do on the field. We can concentrate on what that looks like. So a big part of our processes in the off-season's been how do we make sure that all the noise that we've had previously can disappear, so that when the players get out on that field, all they think about is being the best footballer they can be. And I think that will lead into quality. We can demand more from them, And last year was up there with one of the most chaotic years off the field I think this club's had. So getting rid of the chaos helps. Providing some stability to that, so because we have good players, you saw that in glimpses, but now demanding that from them every single day and setting the tone on that's going to be really important.
Thanks, Coach.
How hard was it to lose a few veterans that you've liked coaching for a while? I mean, obviously the club wants to move into a new direction. You talk about the young players, but those are some players you've talked very highly of over the last few years. Yeah,
honestly, really tough, to be honest. I think one of the things that everyone knows sort of about me is I like to create relationships with the players on a personal level, because I believe when you do that you get the best out of them. They're ultimately human beings, so with that comes that you can create connection, and I think that it was tough, but I think that's the sport we're in, it's the profession we're in. I believe that what we have to do is what we think is right for the club. I think the biggest thing that the Reign has always done in my time that I've been here is we've always tried to do it right, and I hope that the players feel that we did that, and that we can move forward in a direction where we're all pushing in the same direction. And losing players that you've worked with and you've got that connection with is always really tough, and those are tough ones for me.
In terms of the offense, a couple different acquisitions, do you expect to be able to do anything different offensively this season? Anything you're maybe excited to try out with this slightly different group?
Yeah, I think Maddie, Darlene, Lynn specifically bring pace and power and the ability to really stretch a back line. And, I think I said this last year, the league evolved into something it hadn't been for a few years with the acquisitions that other teams made. So I think you have to respect that and see where the league's moving, and having pace is big right now. So I'm glad we were able to find players who live in that space. But I think what we've always done a good job of at this club is evolve in a way which works for us. So how do we make sure that we don't lose our identity, but the players that we've brought in just add a real new level to what we can put on the field, and we become the most unpredictable team we possibly can be, with the likes of Jess and G and the way that they play, and Jordan Hyam, a type player, wants to play to feet. That's unpredictable, but the biggest unpredictability about it is having things that are different to that. So I think, bringing in the likes of Lynn and Maddie, and I think Emery fits into that mould too, can really change the dynamic of what our attack looks like going forward.
After having a lot of depth last year in the holding midfield role, saying goodbye to Quinn and Jalen Howell, I'm wondering just how do you think about the depth that the team has right now heading into the season in that position?
Yeah, no, I'm good with it. I think, again, part of the process is about how we feel about Ainsley. So I think we know that she's got a big future ahead of her. And making sure that we provide her with opportunities is going to be important to be able to, really see that, or we're never going to know. So that was a big part of that. So yeah, I feel really happy with that. I do think that, if we were to look at any acquisitions, then maybe midfield might be one that we would look at. But, Jess can fill in at that role. Obviously, Has can fill in that role as well. Did really well in some of the games towards the back end of the season. And G's played lower too. I'm not sure she's a holding midfielder, but definitely can play a little bit lower. So I think we have the depth in there. It might look a little bit different, which is okay.
Expectations for Claudia this year?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm maybe her biggest fan. I think she played for me in the U20s in 2020, and she's just got tools to her game that not many people have naturally. Her ability to be able to jump is exceptional, which means she can claim crosses. Her feet are very good. And, I'm really happy for her that she got that recognition to go with the national team. But I think what it also means now is that we can push her even more. Last year being her first year as a starter, started full year as a starter, getting the injury that she got, set her back a little bit. But there's no doubt that she has the ability, no doubt. So I think now it's just about maturity and moving her forward in regards to her development. But I'm just really happy for her that she's got that recognition.
How is Ola doing? I know she missed a good part of the year on excused absence. Do you have an update on that?
Yeah, she's doing good. She's here. She's training. So, yeah, really positive.
After losing some players last year in the free agency, you signed Madison Curry, and it feels like ages ago now. But what are you hoping she can bring to the club?
Yeah, another young talent. I think obviously 1 year in the league, I thought she was excellent for Angel City. Did a really good job. And again, bring in someone like her in, bring in Emily in, some young talent around some really experienced players in Phoebe and Lou. I'm excited to see what she brings, because I thought last year she was a standout for me in her team. So yeah, we were really happy that we could get that one done pretty quickly. So we could get her in, and she's been great. Yeah, I think she's going to be a real good addition. Has everything that you want from a fullback in this league.
I was going to ask. Oh. Sorry, does anyone know?
I'm good.
She played center back, she played full back. Phoebe's played center back, full back. You have a lot of flexibility, but do you see her more as a full back right now?
Right now, I think, obviously we have Sophia potentially coming back. We have Lily, who potentially could come back in the summer. I think that's a really cool thing about Maddie Curry, Shay, Phoebe, Lou, Emily Mason. They can play in multiple positions. So I think when we're building out a team, not from scratch, but a bit of a reset, having that flexibility is also great. So I definitely think Maddie will fit in for us right now in that sort of fullback position. But as it goes on, you never know with me. You know me, I always try to change it up.